Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if y'all are new here. I'm Adri with the Queen Adri Reads, and we're going to be going through my August TBR. Last month I think I had 13 or 14 books on my TBR, and I know I didn't read them all. That was unrealistic of me to assume that I could read 13 books in a month. I definitely can, but a lot of it is through like ebook, so like on my Kindle, and then a few on audio. But like I had 13 physical books that I wanted to read, which is just a little bit like harder for me considering that I do work a full-time job. Plus I'm filming a reading only thrillers for a week, and I had 0 thriller books on my July TBR, so like what did I expect? But let's talk about the books that I plan on reading in the month of August. I was a little more realistic. I think I only have 9 physical books that I want to read in the month of August, and some of these are on KU, so it's gonna be a little bit easier and quicker to read because I feel like I read faster on my Kindle versus reading a physical book. Does anyone else feel like that? I feel like it's like a universal thing, but like let me know, do you read faster in your Kindle or do you read faster like with physical books? Anyways, we're gonna break this up into 2 parts kind of. So I'm first gonna just talk about the books that I plan on reading at some point in the month of August, and then we're gonna talk about the books that I plan on taking with me on my trip when I go out to Washington State. So if you all do not know, 2 of my great friends are getting married and they're doing a destination wedding in Mount Rainier, Washington, and me and my boyfriend are more than grateful that we were invited and asked to be a part of this wedding. It is like super exciting. I cannot wait to see them get married, especially in a place like Mount Rainier. I mean, I've never seen it in person. I've only seen pictures. I've never been out west, so like this will be my first time going out west, and I'm so excited to get this opportunity and spend it with people that I really enjoy and want to be around. But we also are gonna have time, we're gonna make time to read, whether that's just like reading on the plane or like reading before bed. We're gonna give ourselves some time to read. So we also have books that we plan on taking with us. I want to read Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is about to be a Prime movie, and I am so excited to watch that when it comes out. The trailer was amazing, and that means I need to read this book before it comes out. So this is probably going to be like the first book that I read for the month of August, and honestly, after this week of thrillers, I might start this, which, I mean, that ends like July 31st anyways. So I'm gonna be like, this is gonna be the first book that I read. And if you all did not know, this book is on KU. I don't know if it's always been on KU or if it's just on KU more recently because the movie is about to come out. So like, if you all haven't read this and you have KU but you can't afford to like buy the book, definitely read it. Like it's on KU. That's exciting. So you don't even have to have the physical book. So I'm probably gonna flip between reading like the physical copy and reading on my Kindle, just because like I said, I read faster on my Kindle and it's easier when I'm on the go, and like when I'm at work it's just easier to like pull out my Kindle than to pull out a book. This follows Alex. His mother is the president of the United States, and Henry, his mother, is the Queen of England, if I'm correct. Like I said, this is like an enemies to friends, and it's more like a fake friend, like, hey, we're friends for like publicity reasons, because of just, they can't be on the outs. It doesn't make either country look good to lovers, and I'm so excited to read this. I did start this book I think sometime last year, but I just wasn't in the mood to read it, so I'm really excited to actually like go back through and read it in its entirety, and then to watch the movie. Like, I'm so freaking excited to see this and see how it like comes to life on the screen. I feel like it's just gonna be like really, I feel like it's just gonna be really good, and I can't wait to see this. Then we have Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. This book has been on my TBR for a long time, since last year for sure, and this is a book I feel like I can only read during summer. So this month is the last month that I have the opportunity to read this book. Therefore, we are going to read this book, because if I do not read this book in the month of August, I think I'm gonna just get rid of it, because if I don't read it in August, I don't think I plan on reading it at all. It's sad to say, but that's just the truth. I have tried to start reading this and I just like could never like get into it. So we're gonna try again in the month of August, because again, like I said, last month to do this, last month of summer. And if not, I'm getting rid of the book and we're just not gonna give it a shot. Apparently this is similar to Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren, like that same aspect as like they were once in love, maybe. I don't know if they were per se in love, but they were like definitely closer in that sense, and then something happened and then they see each other again in the future, and then like, yeah, second chance romance basically. Then we have Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure what this is about. All I know is this is like a second chance romance, and I am super excited to read this. Like, first of all, this cover is gorgeous. Like this, it's literally one of the most gorgeous covers I've ever seen in my life. Really, I just really am in my like second chance romance mood, so I really can't wait to read this. I've had this on my TBR for a little bit since like it came out, and originally, I'll be honest, I bought this book because of the cover. I don't think I've ever read a Kennedy Ryan book, so I'm excited for this to be like the first book I read. And like I said, this cover is just, it's gorgeous. But like I said, all I know is that it's a second chance romance. I'm gonna read the back for you all. Their love was supposed to last forever, but when life delivered blow after devastating blow, Yasmin and Josiah Wade found that love alone couldn't solve or save everything. It couldn't save their marriage. Yasmin wasn't prepared for how her life fell apart, but she's finally starting to find joy again. She and Josiah have found a new rhythm, co-parenting their 2 kids and running a thriving business together. Yet like magnets, they're always drawn back to each other, and now they're beginning to wonder if they're truly ready to let go of everything they once had. Soon, one stolen kiss leads to another, and then more. It's hot, it's illicit, it's all good until old wounds reopen. Is it too late for them to find forever, or could they even be better the second time around? This sounds like this is just going to be purely amazing and break my heart at the same time. So, purely amazing. Like, this is going to be a great book. I just know it, and I really want to read it. If you all do not know, last month I read The Spanish Love Deception. Finally, it's been on my freaking TBR for a really long time, since I joined BookTok. So we finally read that last month, and this month we want to read The American Roommate Experiment. This follows her bestie Rosie and her cousin, what's her cousin's name, Lucas. Basically, he is already staying in Lena's apartment. Something happens to her apartment, so she says, I have bestie Lena's key, I'm just gonna stay in there. And yeah, they're gonna try and room together while her apartment is being fixed. I think this is like fake dating, friends to lover fake dating, something like that. Let me, okay, yeah, because it says when Lucas learns of Rosie's writer's block, he proposes an outrageous idea to bring back her literary muse and meet her deadline. He'll take her on a series of experimental dates meant to jumpstart her romantic inspiration. So this is kind of like a fake dating, friends to lovers, and close proximity. The last book that I plan on reading at some point in the month of August is Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. I have no idea what this book is about. I've just heard about it all over BookTok and bought it for my birthday back in February, and I had this on my TBR in the month of July, but again, we never got to it, so we want to read it this month. Again, I have no clue what this book is about. I'm assuming at one point they were strangers. Honestly, sometimes I like not knowing what a book is about and going into it completely blind. I feel like it brings out more raw reactions to things that happen, because once you go reading the back of the summary, I feel like it's easier to piece together what's gonna happen. So I'm not gonna read the back of this book, I'm just gonna read it and we're gonna see how we like it. We're starting off with a book that is highly anticipated read for me, and I know it's going to be a 5-star read, and that's kind of why I pushed off reading this book. But we're to the point where we're like, girl, you just need to read it so you know it's a 5-star read, and that is Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I've heard so many good things about this book on BookTok, and like I feel like everyone thinks this is a 5-star read, and I just know that I'm gonna think it's a 5-star read as well. So I am like super excited to finally read this, and we are taking this on a trip. I don't know why, I just feel like this would be a cute little like read to read either like on the plane or in Washington. I don't know, I need to read this. I feel like I'm gonna be happy in Washington. That we need to read something happy. And I know I think this book is a little sad and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's gonna end up being happy. The next 2 books I want to say are books that I have picked up because Sarah Corrali and Des, or just Sarah, because I don't think the second book I have Des read, or maybe she has, or maybe she didn't like it. I don't know. Anyways, the first book is Billy Summers by Stephen King. Who is she? Wanting to read a thriller book. More importantly, who is she wanting to read Stephen King? I will say there's nothing wrong with Stephen King. I feel like he is an amazing author, an amazing like thriller author. Like I wholeheartedly believe that. I just have this like terrifying fear of clowns, and because he wrote the book It, and then now there's like a movie, I didn't want to read any of his books because of that. Like I was like, no, I just wanted to cut him off because he wrote a book about clowns. I don't know, this cover just screams like it's gonna be good. I have no clue what this book is about, and I solely bought this because of Sarah and Des. Like honestly, that's why I bought it. I don't know what it's about. I just know that I want to read this, and for some reason I just feel like this would be like aesthetically a good book to read in Washington. The next book we have is The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Yes, that's the name of the book, by Carissa Broadbent. This was another book that Sarah talked about a whole lot and like loved, so I had to buy it. Now this is also on KU, so I really didn't have to get the physical copy. I could have just read it on my Kindle and then bought the book, but you know, I just this cover is just so gorgeous that I needed it on my shelf. So we just like had to buy this. Do I really know what this book is about? No. Have I read a fantasy book? No. So I'm like going in this like completely blind, and like, do I even like fantasy? I don't know. We're gonna find out. But I just feel like I'm really gonna like this book, and like I said, the cover is gorgeous. So I'm excited to take this with me. And I have honestly no reasoning behind why I want to take this book with me, other than the sole fact that like, no, there's no reason actually at all, none whatsoever. I just was like, I'm taking this with me, and that was that. So I'm super excited to read this book. The last book that we were going to talk about, I do not have the physical copy yet. It is on the way. It said it's going to be delivered today. It was supposed to be delivered yesterday, but there was a delay. It says it's out for delivery today, so at some point I should get it. And that is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I am super excited to read this book. I've heard such great things about it, and I can't wait to read it. And for some reason I want to take this on vacay with me. I feel like it'd be a good book to read while I'm out there. It just sounds like it's going to be a really good book. I think that's another second chance romance. Basically the two broke up and they're going on a vacation with their friends, and they haven't told their friends that they broke up, so they have to like fake date during that trip, and then I think they fall back in love, something like that. I didn't really like read the summary of the book or anything. I've just heard people read it and talk about it, so I can't wait to read it because I just know it's gonna be great. Emily Henry is an amazing author. I really do love that she doesn't only write like the romance, but it's also kind of like more of a like, I think literary fiction, is that what it's called? I don't know. It's not just like, I love me a good romance when it's like full romance, like the whole book. I do love that, but I also have come to realize that I also like when there's like bigger issues at hand that isn't based around the romance, and then like how she does it where it's like, oh, all this happens and then the romance happens at the end. I really like that, and I like that she does that. So I'm really excited to read that book. But that is all the books I plan on reading in the month of August. Now that you know what I'm going to be reading, I want you all to comment down below and tell me at least one book that you plan on reading in the month of August. It's only fair, since I told you what I want to read, you have to tell me what you want to read. So definitely comment that down below in the description, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!